to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
I think there's somebody I've licensed music from. I think it's Universal, who still only who only accepts music requests for licenses via fax.
Probably a good way to control the number of requests they get.
I think that's why they do it that way.
That's cool.
I like to think they all come through on that paper that you can't straighten out, that shiny, shitty fax paper.
Faxes were awesome.
Yeah.
Bring them back.
I think I read somewhere that the fax machine was invented like 80 something years ago. Like
it's really old.
The idea of a fax machine is ancient.
I think it's older than that, actually, because I think they used to
before paper.
No, that was the Egyptians.
Do you know who invented the fax machine, actually?
Who's that?
It was Charo.
Oh.
Charo from Love Boat appearances and Fantasy Island appearances.
Didn't she dance at baseball games? Was that something she did?
No,
she
that was.
That was Morgana the Kissing Bandit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She would run out on the field and steal a smooch.
Give a nice kiss to George Brett for hitting it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she's probably his pine tar supplier.
Yeah.
Good joke for our baseball fans.
Glad we could make a reference to.
Oh, I thought you said George Wendt. And I was like, maybe George Wendt was a ball player in his early days.
Do you remember George Wendt's character in Cheers' wife's name?
Vera.
Yeah, Vera.
Yeah, Vera, that's right. We never met Vera, did we?
We never met Vera.
She got hired at the restaurant upstairs, and at one point you saw her legs.
How'd they look?
Ooh la la, and what legs they were.
That was back when you could earn a good living as a painter.
Yeah.
Could afford to drink at downtown Boston bars.
No,
just paint houses.
It's pretty. I think painters still get broke off. I think you can still make a good living painting.
Well, he was an accountant for a while, and then he became.
Oh, that's right.
He was an accountant, was he?
Yeah.
What a fascinating career choice
to become a house painter. Yeah, that is strange.
Can we just talk about George Wendt's character in Cheers? That I'm thankful that none of us have said the character's name yet.
Let's get George Wendt on the line. Kevin, do you have him ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I got him. Hold on.
Bring up George.
He's on number. I might have disconnected him.
George Wendt's character at Cheers. How was that character employed when George Wendt played the character in House, whose name I've also forgotten?
He was an accountant still.
In House
was like no. Oh, what was his profession? I think he was just a neighbor in House. I don't think he had a job.
It's not a job. You can't be employed.
But he probably had to work. He probably had to work to afford that aforementioned house.
That was a nice neighborhood in L.A.
Was that an L.A. neighborhood?
Yeah.
Was that an L.A. house?
I believe so.
It's weird. You know what's smart? They should film more things in L.A. because it's right there by Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
they should do that.
It's a pretty area.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a nice area. A lot of good skateboard spots too.
Mm-hmm. They're all flooded now, though.
Yeah.
For the listener, the international listener, there's a lot of flooding in L.A. right now.
Tell me about. I didn't even know about this.
Well, a late season blizzards rolled through. They've had torrential rain for the past several weeks, and we will soon meet our own deluge of stories about California's failure to build an adequate reservoir system, and then we will be met with a responsive storm of articles claiming that's not the case.
Well, I mean, by the time this comes out, I'm sure that those articles will already have played themselves out, and we'll be hearing about how people are sick of the debate.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather debate something else.
We just want something done.
And that is the fault of...
It'll be about their gas. Oh, I know what you're thinking
John
of.
Huston.
Yeah, that's right.
John Huston?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Excellent, Michael.
I don't know. You got to get Jack Nicholson on it. And it's a whole web of intrigue and
Oh, you're talking about Chinatown. His name was Noah Cross.
I don't like to talk. Much like the line in that movie. We don't talk about Chinatown, Jack. It's because we never say the name Chinatown, Jack. It's bad luck.
That's not the line at all.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing, but that is the line.
That's the gist of it.
Don't ever. It's that like we call it the Scottish part of town, not Chinatown, because it's bad luck to say Chinatown. So we call it the Scottish part of town.
Like Macbeth, the Scottish play.
Don't say it, Kevin. We're about to fucking do a goddamn performance. It's bad luck. This is theater. God damn it.
It's almost like
listeners, if this episode sucks, you know why.
Is it a thing where it cancels out if you say it more than once? I don't know. This is not a.
I think it doubles. I think it's a multiplier effect.
You're the professional.
Like he taught us about that in school. You know,
I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out a way to pull this episode out.
So you guys ready to get started here? Now that I've ruined the episode.
Well, frankly, it might be a great episode because it took a lot of pressure off. I normally feel a whole lot of pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of weight.
I'm just afraid that I know we have a large contingent of community theater actors that listen to the show.
Hundreds.
All over. And I feel like a lot of them either turned off or just their cars wrecked. As they were dry,
stroked out.
Yeah,
steam coming up from the hood.
They're jogging. They're jogging at Planet Fitness. I call it Planet Fat Ass. and they're on the treadmill there, and they just like trip, and it just shoots them in a very comical way into somebody on a rowing machine.
Wow,
behind them.
Yeah, have to be a pretty powerful treadmill, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, you saw something spark. You saw the plug spark.
Right.
Whoa! Oh! 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 The second Kevin said that cursed word.
Which one?
You're not going to trick me into that.
Damn it.
No. Is there a organization for community theater players? Is there some kind of national?
Oh, there's got to be
association of people whose goal that the peak acting they want to do is for free with the local community, which is fine. That's what you want to do.
They're making money. I think somebody's making money, right? They charge to get into that stuff.
Someone's the promoter, promoter and venue, right?
Yeah.
So, welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with
Norman Mailer.
Norman Mailer's not on the show. Who are you?
Brian Camp.
He's Norman Mailer. I'm Joe DiMaggio. And Kevin is John F. Kennedy. We are all Eskimo brothers with Marilyn Monroe.
I can't even pretend to do a Boston accent. I can't.
He's from.
You've done it before.
He's from Camelot. Are you inviting me? Well, I can do John F. Kennedy all day.
Is that Fred Schneider? Is John F. Kennedy?
He kind of was. He was like, I'm gonna go solve the Cuban Missile Crisis. I've got a bad back, and I fucked Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, that tracks.
Texas is the reason that I'm dead.
History comes alive.
There's a lot going on right there. I appreciate that, Mike.
Yeah, that's what I bring. Clouds of nuance.
Real sophisticated show so far.
Sophisticate.
So normally a cloudy thing would make something more vague, but you bring clouds of nuance.
All right, Kevin.
Yes.
I hate that I seem to point this out a lot.
Okay.
But you say pagan instead of pagan, and you say vague instead of vague, apparently.
Vague?
Right?
Yeah,
you
you sound like you're talking about a thing that is owed to a bookie. The veg.
Yeah.
That's a vig.
Yeah.
Hey, man, pay up your veg. Pay up your veg or you'll pay throughout your nose.
I think you guys just can't hear. I think you've got bad speakers on your sound systems.
It's that hard A sound.
It's some Ohio shit. It's some weird Ohio shit.
Is it Ohio?
Yeah.
I could say I say A's.
He and also he did not go to, when we all went to journalism school.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him out on the quad smoking dope when we were in non-regional dictation class.
The one thing Ohioans are known for is not having an accent.
Yeah. And he was out there smoking dope, and you and I were learning to speak in a manner that everyone can relate to.
Hey, maybe some of us couldn't get into dictation class without blushing, okay?
Is that a dick joke?
That's a dick joke.
It could be.
Are you addicted to what that dick did?
Hey, I take back the sophisticated comment.
So this week, we've got 3 news stories, and they all kind of dovetail and fit together in a weird way. It's not quite a theme so much as just, surprisingly, after 111 of these, on the 112th episode, I've got all the stories to kind of flow together like an episode of Seinfeld.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds like there's going to be some comedic misunderstandings.
And I've also got really bad allergies, so enjoy the raspiness of my voice this week.
I hate you, Newman. Remember when Seinfeld would say that? He'd go, I hate Newman.
Yeah. I'm going to barge into your apartment. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk right in.
Hey, I'm Kramer. I'm George. I'm nerd.
Yeah, do something sneaky.
I'm Jerry, and I got shoes.
You always wore them white Nikes, right? Was that his shoe?
Yeah, he looks stupid. I remember back even then in the day making fun of the way he dressed and going to New York and going like, oh, these idiots are dressing like Seinfeld. And there were a lot of people that were dressed like the weird, like, I don't know. It's just such that's a thing too. Cause sometimes like when I watch a show from the 50s, you know, all the men are dressed with their pants hiked up over their belly button. But like that was the style of the time. But there was probably something where like some of those people were dorky for dressing a certain way that a nuance that I don't know. Right. And I wonder if kids now are like, I don't know, that's how everybody dressed back then. But no, Seinfeld dressed fucking stupid.
Right.
What about the puffy shirt? That was pretty cool.
Well, are you talking about that episode where he got a pirate shirt?
Yeah.
Well, that was okay. I'm talking about regular ass fucking Seinfeld with his dad
dark
jeans
blue jeans that didn't fit quite right.
Yeah.
White sneakers and like a rugby shirt.
Yeah, or like a just a very solid thick shirt from Mervyn's tucked in. Yeah, like even back then, I just want everyone listening that's young to know that even back then, he just looked fucking like a dork dad.
Okay.
I gotta go to Mervyn's. Where are my clothes? At Mervyn's. When is the red apple sale?
No, we've been over
this with the red apple.
Foley's had the red apple sale.
Foley's has the red apple sale. Of course.
Open. open.
So
what's his spokesperson for? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, he was a spokesperson for American Express
and 1-800 Collect.
So our first story comes to us from the South China Morning Post, which is considered to be Hong Kong's paper of record.
Oh yes. Is
that according to the state police?
No, this is privately owned.
Do they carry Scott Adams Dilbert anymore?
As of today, no one carries Scott Adams' Dilbert.
Scott Adams' Dilbert. I don't know. Did he get canceled from everything?
Yeah, I think his publisher even dropped him.
Yeah, I watched I watched the whole video.
Oh no.
And it is so like it just I mean you watch it and you just think that he had to have wanted to lose everything. Like he had to, like, there's no getting around like, well, no, I'm just going to say this thing that is completely unprompted and also like not even a reaction to like a thing happening right now. You know, it wasn't like a bad take on like a Black Lives Matter protest or something like that, you know, which not that would make that okay, but it was just this like general unprompted thing that he just like went into for like, I mean, even if it was about a news story right there, you would, and you felt that way, you would know better.
Right.
Was it Kanye-esque in its level of just odd self-sabotage? Like,
yeah,
you know nothing.
Yeah.
This is, you're throwing a tantrum almost.
Right. But he wasn't even mad. He's just kind of like, you know, I've just kind of made my decision that I don't even want to repeat what he said in the sense that it could be taken out of context. But like, it's just
as opposed to everything else we've ever said on this show. But go ahead.
Yeah, I guess you could take everything out of context. But he just was just like he was like he said, I'm not going to help black people anymore. And then he said, which I don't know what he was doing.
What was he doing already? Yeah.
But that he was just that like, that all of them hate us. I hate white people. It was like, I don't know where he got the thing from. He's like, I'm just so tired of seeing these videos of them beating up white people. And I was just like, where are you?
Yeah,
what are you talking about? Like,
but this is the kind of echo
more
chamber
videos of that than of anyone beating up. I mean, there's plenty of videos of guys getting fights on the internet or people getting beat up, but like, there's no like
watching a Reginald Denny documentary. Isn't that the name of the guy who got dragged out of the truck during that was the Rodney King stuff,
Rodney
right?
King, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, here's the thing though, is like, yeah, he might as well have just went, well, I want to retire, and there's only one way to make that happen, because I looked up his net worth today, and according to the internet, I want you guys to guess what Scott Adams, you know, quote, lost everything, got canceled, is worth.
55 million.
I'll say 12 million.
$75 million.
No way.
Well, here's the thing. So he's got
perfect timing.
If you're a comic strip artist who can get syndicated, which is like one of 36 guys, and women can be comic strip artists. Hello, Kathy. If you're one of those people,
magnanimous of you.
If you're one of those people, you get broke off like every single day. Like if you're in a like 300 newspapers a day and they're each paying you $5 a day, you're doing all right. And then you got your syndication, you got your collections, you got your little Dogbert toy, because every comic strip today has a Dogbert.
He was still making desk calendars in an era when people were buying desk calendars as gifts. Like, it just seems like every dumb thing he could have made money off of was timed perfectly with when he was doing with what he was doing.
Yeah. Gilbert coffee cups.
Right. Like the last albums that sold before MP3s became a thing.
And really kind of like he dug into like office culture, like modern office culture in a popular way. Like he kind of hit on that made him really popular, or that strip really popular. But it's just so bizarre. Like, what? And it's been for years. I mean, I don't know.
I read an article on crack.com about him like 10 years ago. He did 4 years of his life where he couldn't talk to women. Like, if a woman came and talked to him, he would just clam up and not be able to speak. Like, he is a weird, problematic, difficult man who is rich enough to live in an echo chamber where he just lives and breathes this weird alt-right nonsense.
Well, does he have a mental health issue? It sounds like maybe we should be concerned for him, his safety and his well-being.
I think his $75 million will take care of him.
I don't know.
So our first story, as I said, comes to us from the South China Morning Post, which is considered Hong Kong's paper of record. In 2021, a man living in eastern China caught a lucky break and won a lottery with a prize of 10 million yuan, or about $1.5 million. Now, the thing is, the man didn't seem to be in a happy marriage. So instead of telling his wife about the good news, he hid the money from her for 2 years.
Cool.
As soon as the man got the money, he transferred 2 million yuan to his older sister. He then sent 700,000 yuan to his ex-wife, and he hid the rest from his wife. 2 years later, his current wife found out and filed for divorce. She demanded 2/3 of the winnings because he'd bought the ticket with money from their joint bank account and then hid the winnings. Last month, a court awarded the wife 60% of the winnings, or 6 million yuan. So apparently this sort of thing is common in China, And last October, a man won a lottery worth 220 million yuan, or about $32 million, and he told the media he would not be sharing the money with his wife or son because he did not want them to become conceited.
Smart. Good for him. Good family man. Worried about his family.
You know who is conceited?
Is it Scott Adams?
No, that bitch Sheila. She thinks she's cute.
Who?
She's so conceited. Sheila in Life Science.
What?
I'm we'll call that bit failed, but I think it just whenever I hear the word I've just never heard anyone use the word conceited that wasn't a junior high girl.
I thought you were doing lyrics or something.
You tell us about Sheila more later on, and I want to hear a lot about Sheila.
What kind of name is
bitch Sheila?
She thinks she's cute.
What kind of name is Sheila for anyone born after 1960?
She's got a Liz Frank binder? Is that the name of the?
It's fake.
The Trapper Keeper.
It's a fake Liz Frank.
Oh, there it is. See, I'm starting to get into this now. I get it. Sheila.
Lisa Frank.
Oh, Lisa Frank. Who's Liz Frank?
Yeah,
that's the fucking fake one that she got. Sheila.
She went down to Trader's Village and got a Liz Frank notebook.
She didn't think anybody was going to notice.
Well, we saw Sheila.
Liz Frank is the executive director of Hostage US, which I don't know what they do.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Their folders are awesome.
Yeah. They got pictures of people tied up. I do hope that. What was the guy's name?
I didn't write down his name. It's not very relevant.
Well, I hope his wife and kids don't turn out like that fucking bitch Sheila.
Yeah,
she's walking around.
Works with Sheila's dad and hears about how terrible Sheila is.
The man was named Zal.
My mom bought me everything at the Foley's Red Apple sale.
The man's name was Zal.
My mom gets clothes from the Red Apple sale the day before the Red Apple sale starts.
Wow, it doesn't even wait for a sale.
My name's Sheila, and I'm wearing Skechers. Guess where I got them? Foley's Red Apple sale.
Does she have a Coca-Cola shirt?
I've got a Coca-Cola shirt, and I've got Guess. I got a Guess belt. My name's Sheila, and if they made Guess ice cubes, I would have them because I love Guess.
Do you ever bag on anybody wearing a Varney shirt?
Oh, that Varney shirt. That's pretty cool. I had one of those about 4 years ago.
Fucking Sheila. I hate her.
Now I just use it to clean up messes around the house. Oh, you haven't got a training bra yet?
How many do you have?
Oh, I don't have one anymore. I have a regular bra.
Wow.
My name's Sheila.
I apologize to all our listeners named Sheila right now.
They know.
You call me conceited all you want, but guess what? You're stuck up.
You have successfully created a preteen girl that I hate.
Whatever. God. It's no big deal.
God damn it.
Anyway.
Yes.
When I have a whole bunch of you, and you know what I'm going to get?
What is that?
A Porsche. No. A Mustang 5.0 convertible. My dad says he's going to get me one when I turn 16. And it's going to be white.
Mm-hmm. Going to make up for all that molesting.
Oh, damn.
I'm going to listen to Boys to Men all day in the CD player that comes in the car.
CD player.
It's got a detachable face on the stereo, so I'll take it inside with me. So stuck up poor bitches won't steal it.
It just gets worse. This is the most specific thing. I don't know how many of our listeners realize how perfect Sheila is.
I haven't decided if I'm going to do Wrangler Girls next year. If I want to join the Wrangler Girl dance team or not. They said I could be captain, but I haven't decided if I want to do it yet. I might just do cheer squad.
What position would you be in cheer squad?
Head.
She is conceited.
She is conceited. That's the thing is, she is conceited.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about that is too, is like this guy, he doesn't want his kids or his wife to be like that. And the second they get a taste of that money, they're just gonna be, it's just I want to wear leg warmers every day this week, but a different color.
On each leg, or?
Of course not, idiot. I'm not Punky Brewster. I'm Kelly Kapowski, if you're going to compare me to someone. Or maybe Jesse Spano. But I'm not some dumb, poor bitch who's an orphan who has to live with some gross old man in a shitball apartment. Zach Morris is fine. Who do you guys think is the most fine new kid? I think it's Donnie.
Donnie Wahlberg.
And if you don't think so, you're an idiot. But if you think that it's Donnie, if you think that it's Donnie too, you're just trying to copy me. She's trying to steal my life.
Oh, Sheila.
So, Mike, what would you do if you won $1.5 million in Chinese money?
I wouldn't give it to Sheila. I tell you that. I wouldn't share any of it with her.
No, she's got enough.
I guess everybody dreams about winning the lottery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all dream about that.
Right.
I definitely dream about that. I mean, it's weird because you used to always think like $1 million. That's the most money anyone could ever have. And now you're like, that'd be great. That would be amazing. But it also kind of wouldn't change life entirely that much for me.
Start worrying about your upper level.
Honestly, most of it was like, this is like the money that I never saved for retirement and shit like that,
Yeah.
Like I got nothing. It would be like I think I would not move to a new house with that amount of money. I would not buy a new car.
Uh-huh.
I'd probably.
Would you tell your wife about it?
I would not. Oh God, no. God, no.
What would she do with it?
Probably fucking go buy Guess jeans. Spend it all on Guess jeans.
Are you married to Sheila?
No, but no, not at all. But I do worry that the idea that anybody other than me because I think if I find that amount of money, same, even keel Mike, fucking down to earth, the humblest, probably one of the humblest people on the face of the fucking planet.
People say that all the time about you.
If not the most humble.
Right.
Is Mother Teresa still alive?
No,
she's dead.
Okay, so the most humble.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and hey, you want to talk about conceited bitches.
You wouldn't buy any Doctor Stranges?
Oh, you know what? I was just at the comic book store today. I was looking at some DSs.
Such a fan, you can't even say the name.
Mm-hmm. I'm just too busy. If I said the name every time, I would just lose hours.
Right, every day.
No, I don't know. I think I would. The only thing I ever you probably couldn't even. This probably costs like a fucking $500,000. I would love like a little home theater, like a nice little home theater, with a multi setup to screen stuff.
Would it be in a secret part of the house? Would there be like a secret door to get to it?
Yeah, I think a secret door. Yeah. Probably a trophy that you move and it would open up.
Nice.
Cool.
What would y'all do with $1.5 million?
Brian?
I think we've talked about this before. I would identify a species that's close to extinction.
Mm-hmm.
That the only penalty for killing it is a fine, and I would eliminate that species from the planet.
Oh.
You'd feel so powerful after something like that.
Yeah.
It's really great. Yeah.
Probably get a lot of engagement on your social medias, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of notoriety. And there's no such thing as
all that social media Brian has.
So.
You'd probably get into it. I mean, why not? That'd probably be a story, too. Like, you get social media just to let everyone know that you killed this gray spotted owl or whatever.
Right. Some kind of salamander.
Yeah.
And then I could like stomp.
A fire salamander. So you would see flames.
Like when you
I don't know what it is. Is it 1.5, like $1.5 million?
Yeah, that's what 1.5 is, Brian. I
didn't know if it was like 1,005,000 or it was 1.5. I was confused by
no, it's $1,500,000, but it's all in Chinese money.
Well, am I allowed to convert it?
You'd have to ask the Chinese government about that.
I know someone.
Well, we know.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
You have a handler over there?
Mm-hmm.
A monitor? Someone who's...
I don't know. I'd probably just... it sucks that's... I guess maybe it's not. I guess it's always... Money's does that a lot more.
Yeah.
But it is weird to think like, I don't know, just when you're a little kid, $1 million was the most money in the whole goddamn world. And now it's like, well, you could almost buy a house in Austin.
Yeah. I'd put it in the bank.
For $1.5 million, you'd buy half a house in Austin.
You know what? I'd put it all in Dogecoin.
That's a wise investment. So our next story comes to us from the Daily Beast. And I'll tell you, this story takes us to a town called Austin, Texas.
Oh, that's a place where you can't buy a home for $1 million.
See, Kevin was right. It's all connecting.
Yeah.
So I don't think I need to introduce Alex Jones to the audience. And before anyone familiar with him shuts this off, I just want you to know this isn't the type of story you'd expect from the man who just might be America's most popular agent of disinformation. So last year, Alex Jones was ordered to pay up to $1.5 billion in damages from multiple defamation suits brought by families who lost children in the Sandy Hook shooting, as well as a first responder on the scene. In December 2022, Jones filed for bankruptcy protection. In his bankruptcy filing, Jones stated that his assets totaled $10 million, almost enough to buy a home in Austin, and that he spends approximately $100,000 per month. Now, Jones says he's pushing back because the Department of Justice is coming for his kitty cat. Apparently 2 years ago, Jones paid $2,000 for a ragdoll breed cat named Mushu, and I'll put a picture of Mushu up here.
I got a ragdoll. His name's Mushu. You will not touch Mushu. You will touch Mushu over my cold, bloody hands. Mushu sits on my lap, and I stroke his furry belly.
Did he name the cat Mushu, or was the cat already named?
Named it after my favorite Chinese dish, Mushu Gai Pan.
His daughter named the cat Mushu.
I was furious at her for naming it a non-American name. I said to my daughter, "You represent the New World Order."
So here's a picture of Mushu and Alex Jones holding Mushu.
I gotta say, it softens him looking at it. You actually like.
That cat looks like it weighs 30 pounds.
You know what? I would like Mushu too.
Yeah, a good looking cat.
False flag! False flag!
So Jones said the Department of Justice, quote, spent probably 5 minutes on the bankruptcy meeting that was over 3 hours long on my cat. They wanted to know if assets were hidden in the cat. From what I can tell, the translation for this is it looks like Mushu the cat wasn't listed as one of Jones's assets. So according to Jones, the DOJ may seek to liquidate the cat in order to pay off his debts. Jones described this as...
Here's the deal, folks. We've got this special on catnip. It's alpha brain monkey catnip. And there's no kind of catnip like this before ever in the world. When your cat takes this, it will grow an alpha brain. It will take care of any rodentia in the neighborhood. Now, they don't want you to have this kind of catnip, but we've partnered up with Alpha Brain Monkey Mindset for Alpha Brain Alpha Catnip.
Continue.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, he described this as harassment and said, quote, "The deal's broke. You aren't getting the cat. This is next level." Despite not seeing his harassment of families with dead children as a very big deal, this seems like a very big deal to Jones, who added, quote, "It makes me really upset for this country. Now they want my cat. The line in the sand is, you cannot have my cat." Also, I talked to him.
And the line in the sand is also where the cat scraped its poo-poo to the corner. The Mushu poo-poo.
So I talked to a bankruptcy attorney for this, and they said it's very unlikely a pet cat would ever be sold as part of a bankruptcy proceeding. He just had to declare it because he had spent money on it.
Oh, you're saying Alex Jones is lying and making a big deal about something that's not?
I know that's shocking. I know that must shake your image of Alex Jones.
Well, I like how he tries to present bankruptcy as something that benefits anyone but him. The deal's off. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Please. I think there's a lot of people that would love for you not to declare bankruptcy.
Yeah, happy to forcefully liquidate you.
Right. The seizure would be fun. It'd be good news. He is set for life insofar as long as he continues down this path, despite any legal consequences, there is an army of people that will always listen to him and support him.
Right.
So it's almost for his future, for his livelihood, the worst thing he could ever do is be a normal human being with human being emotions, right?
Right. I guess that's true in that, like, you would think he would not mention the kitty cat, except that was his only, in 3 hours of sitting in this meeting, that was his only, like, wormy way to go, like, look what the Department of Justice is doing to me by letting me escape from my debts.
The state. This is what they do to
multiple lives. Of multiple lives I've just destroyed.
They tear you to pieces. They put you in a position where you have nothing. They leave you penniless. And even after all that, they come for your pets. That's the America we live in.
Now you can rewind the tapes. All I said was, I questioned whether this thing had happened, and that's it. That's all I said, and that we should go to their houses and barge down their doors and scream at them and show them pictures of their dead children and say, "This is not real. This is not real." I mean, if you can't say that, then I thought. I thought we lived in America.
So I have a question for you, Mike, real quick, just while you're doing the Alex Jones impression.
Yeah.
Can you do an impression of Rolf the dog from The Muppet Show? And is it any different than Alex Jones's voice?
Rolf is softer.
I think he's
softer.
Yeah, I can't remember how Rolf talks right now. But I don't think he's nearly as racist.
You got to play a song. You got to talk slightly slower and play a song.
I'm Rolf the dog.
It's still a little, I can't imagine.
I don't think you're stuck with a little bit of twang.
Miss Piggy is a psyop. She's a psyop. She's a bovine pork that comes and sexualizes with frogs, turns frogs gay, that knows karate. It's a psyop. A false flag.
I know we've talked about this before with Alex Jones and a little bit with
my
Coast
wife
to Coast.
Just opened the door and asked if I was okay.
Oh, well, that's nice. See, she's not a Sheila.
Are you sure?
Ask her if she needs some Gap jeans.
It sounds like Alex Jones is choking on his tongue.
Alex Jones isn't choking on his tongue. And
she could hear the impression. That's good.
Yeah.
You can hear the impression. And just know that you are officially not a Sheila. A conceited bitch.
That's a compliment.
I know, but I've said that. You came up and I said that you're not a Sheila.
What's up with the gay?
You're not obsessed with Guess jeans.
I'm not obsessed with Guess jeans. Are you sure you're not choking on your tongue?
I'm fine.
It's a little bit of Sling Blade too.
Oh
bit of Sling Blade. They say hi too.
I like the way you talk.
You have to do a little more.
I do miss the Sling Blade impression. Those were the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
Probably almost ruined that poor Billy Bob Thornton's life.
No, it was directing All the Pretty Horses, which Harvey Weinstein took out of his hands and recut, made terrible, so to ensure that Billy Bob Thornton would never direct another movie again. Not the worst thing, though. Not close to the worst thing Harvey Weinstein ever did.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's true.
That's a great book.
Yeah.
No, I was going to ask, between Alex Jones and Coast to Coast listeners, like, just there, for me at least, there is a gap of being aware of those things, and certainly with Coast to Coast listening to it, where it all felt in very good fun. Like, it was even to the point where, like, you didn't think that the host, narrator, interviewer, whoever it was, whether it was Alex Jones or George Norrie or that other dude.
Alex Jones never hosted that. Art Bell.
No, but he had his own show. I'm talking about all those guys in general, people who pander and hawk conspiracy theories for a living.
Ian Punnett.
When did people switch from seeing those as, oh, that's kind of a fun thing to think about that's obviously not true? Like, I think even the JFK thing, no one, except for a very select few crazy people, thought that there was a huge conspiracy behind that. Seriously. Like, I don't think flat earth people really think the earth is flat. It's just fun to say you're a flat earther.
Yeah.
Like, when did that transition into real belief?
I would say after the JFK movie, the majority of people believed there was some kind of conspiracy going on. But I think it was a transition not from like paranormal radio stuff so much as it became tangential to conservative radio, where conservative radio was like, oh, there's some kind of secret truth of what, at that time, like the Clintons are doing here. And I think that that transitioned into like, well, I want to know more about conspiracies. And he was really, even though he was just public access at that point, he was really kind of on the forefront of that.
But didn't Alex Jones used to kind of dip into some occult UFO-y kind of, like not as hard as Art Bell or anything like that, or not like, but it seems like, I don't really remember, but it seems like he used to dip in that. I mean, I got to think that just at some point, and we weren't paying attention, he started realizing through his metrics that he was making a lot more money off the conspiracy stuff. And I think
it was September 11th.
What happened then?
Well, I remember actually on Halloween, you were playing a show. I think this is like the second time in a week I've mentioned you playing a show that you're not going to remember. But on Halloween 2001, you were playing a show in Austin, and we went down, and I remember a guy was like, oh, Alex Jones is on, and turned it on, and he had this giant stack of papers that he laid down, just that he could have gotten from anywhere, and was like saying about how he knew all the secret knowledge was there, and everybody in the government was behind it, all these corporations were behind it. And I think it was almost like tragedy, conspiracy, entertainment.
Yeah.
And I think people really started buying into it then, because it seemed like he had some kind of secret information. And again, anybody could have printed out pages and set them down on a desk. And he kept referring to him. I remember he kept like pointing over to him, like, you won't believe what's in these. And it doesn't matter, like, because nobody's going to read those 2,000 pages on your desk.
Manifesto of everyone on that flight and everyone who didn't take that flight. Let me tell you who did not get out, who got out that flight very conveniently. Her name was Sheila. She went and took that ticket money. She went right on down to Nordstrom in the Galleria Mall in Dallas, Texas. And guess what she bought? Guess jeans, Guess clothing, a sweatshirt that just reads Guess. It has a triangle amongst it. Look at that triangle. Look at that triangle that is right under the Guess. That triangle. That's a trilateral commission. That is exactly what that is. When and they're saying guess who runs the government. Well, I know who runs the government, and it's not you. It's us, the people. And I'm coming for you. Sheila, you conceited bitch.
I feel like I'm on Sheila's side now. I don't want to take the side of Alex Jones. I don't know. This is a real.
It is a real King Kong versus Godzilla situation.
Yeah.
A titan against a titan.
Whoever wins.
So before we get Mike into trouble for his Alex Jones impression, let's go to our last story.
Okay.
So our last story comes to us from the Indy 100, which is part of the Independent newspaper. So our episode kind of dovetails here because this story is kind of about a conspiracy theory, or at least disinformation, that also involves China. So, we're kind of, this has never happened before. I'm excited.
Yeah. So this is where people are winning the lottery and hiding it from their wives and kids.
Well, it is about
so they
something
don't become
hidden.
Conceited like Sheila,
Sheila.
If you'll recall, is in a very public feud with Alex Jones over the company Guess and Guess clothing.
As you know, social media is an endless breeding ground for conspiracies. Now, a woman's conspiracy theory has gone viral across the internet. She said the world is in for a rude awakening because, quote, wait, please stop. So no one is talking about this. No one. You guys won't believe. I was at the nail salon the other day and I heard some shocking news. Apparently, the Chinese news was on while she was getting her nails done, so she turned on the translator app on her phone, only to discover China has found an uncharted land populated by dinosaur-like creatures. She said her nail tech confirmed the news was properly translated, and added that she was very concerned there was a conspiracy of silence in the U.S. since the media was not reporting this. Now, I need to point out, as a side note, it's pretty likely this news was widely reported last year and is about a 630-foot or 192-meter deep sinkhole discovered in China that contained its own hidden ecosystem and had many unknown or previously believed extinct trees and plants, and which has also been described as a lost world, but no dinosaurs have actually been found there.
Disappointing.
I did not name this woman. She could have been Sheila.
Well, if it was dinosaurs, that's a group I could potentially have wiped out. There's probably not many of them.
Yeah, that would be nice. Well, maybe It sounds like there's some plants at least you could get down in there.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be good.
You put some herbicide down there, Brian. You could wipe out hundreds maybe of new species.
I kind of need to do it with my hands for the satisfaction.
Yeah. It is nice, and the difference between plants and like a lizard is you can look a lizard in the eyes as you squeeze some more.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can drink yourself the snake squeezins.
You want some snake
Let me ask you this. Would you do that to the Loveland frog?
No.
Well, you couldn't. I mean, Loveland frog is a huge... You'd have to strangle it, but that would even be weird. I don't think you can wrap your
It'd probably stop you
hands
with the
around the Loveland frog's neck. Like it's too... It doesn't really have that kind of a neck.
If it expanded its lower neck pouch, whatever you call that, it could break your thumbs too. You have to be careful with giant frogs.
Also... That's completely
they get a tongue in the
negating the fact that there's probably some sort of a magical force field, or cone of cold around it, or a
fireball.
I doubt you could get that close without having a magic missile line fucking go straight through your eye.
True.
So this is how viral is this?
I tried to look into it a little bit. They didn't have any links in the story because I think they wanted to report it, but they don't like to. The new thing is to not let anybody leave your website. So it had at least 80,000 views, but it seemed I found it popping up other places. So it's probably had close in terms of exposure across news sites and everything, closer to 1 million, I would guess.
Is it possible that the sinkhole is where COVID came from?
No, because the sinkhole hadn't been discovered.
Well, according to the Chinese government.
Have you seen there's a TV show called La Brea that's all about this kind of thing? It's on NBC.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was just thinking about what would happen if you took a shit in a tar pit. What would it do to the shit?
I mean, I think it would... So here... hold on. So here's the sink... Well, we can talk about Mike's shit theory. I think it would probably melt into the tar because the tar is molten.
I think it would turn into a diamond.
Isn't that what Superman did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in his hand and then squeezed
it. He took a shit in his hands and he just squeezed it, and then it turned into a diamond, and then he wiped his hands on Lex Luthor's suit.
But so I found the sinkhole here in China. So you can see the view from the sky. But yeah, so there's some neat trees down there and neat plants, but there's not necessarily dinosaurs. Any. They haven't found any dinosaurs. It's not a huge space. Which is why we never covered it, because it was all visual. But this has to be what they're talking about. Yeah, nobody wants to put up that many pictures, apparently.
Well, it sounds like something they're trying to keep under wraps.
Yeah.
Maybe all the other pictures have dinosaurs peeking through.
Typical U.S. government trying to silence anything about lizards.
Big paleontology,
right. And that's the Chinese. This is it's game on for them.
A few weeks ago we did cover
it's game on.
A dinosaur-sized cane toad in Australia.
Dinosaur-sized cane toad. They got them in China. They got them in Australia.
That kind of hurts my throat. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Is he a heavy smoker? He's a
heavy set man.
He is a heavy man.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's called body shaming. I thought you liberals didn't do that.
I feel like I wouldn't be totally surprised if that was a made up voice and his real voice was just let me tell you about the alien conspiracy theories.
Hi, my name's Alex Jones. This is how I really talk. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm not even that mad at the government. Actually, I kind of like them. I think they do a good job with the roads.
I'm surprised he hasn't gone out of his way to sue in kind of a petulant, again, kind of tantrumy way after he lost his defamation suit Like he hasn't tried to find every show that's ever satirically made fun of him before and tried to sue them himself as some kind of.
Are you inviting this on our podcast?
I'm not the one doing it. I don't care. Just saying that.
Are you inviting this on Mike?
No, I think
I'm
it's
so
just
sick of this international news service. Typical globalist agenda.
I think it would be hard for him to establish damages as opposed to people whose lives have been ruined right after their children were killed because somebody said they were all crisis actors.
I asked a question. I
don't think he would win.
I didn't go down there. I didn't knock on the door. I just simply asked a question. It's not my fault if my fans are fucking idiots.
I would love to hear that.
Well, I didn't say that.
So that wraps up another week in the International News Service. Find us across social media at International News Pod. Email us at internationalnewspod@gmail.com. The next time you win the lottery, you can still hide it from your spouse, but why not kick a little money into our Patreon? Check out the INS merch store at Redbubble on our Patreon, and don't forget to check out our subreddit at r/INSpod. And it's actually pretty fun in there. I recommend it.
It is fun.
We'll see you next week.
Fuck you, Sheila. Get out of my country.
Thank you for listening to the International News Service. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. INS, the news you need.